Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Angela Johnson Ayers here. Thank you for joining me on the Bridge Building with Angela YouTube channel, and also if you're listening with my podcast. I wanted to talk to you all about something today that was very important to me. And I just want you, particularly if you have sons, husbands, boyfriends, anybody, particularly a black male, I want you all to please, this is for you. And I first want to start this by saying you are valuable, black men, you are precious, you are kings, and you are to be cherished. And that being said, I want to talk to you about something that you do, some of you do, that I find extremely troublesome and a tad bit offensive to me as a woman and to many other women, I'm sure. And please take this as coming from a place of love. I am 48 years old, so if you are young enough, some of you I'm speaking to, hopefully that I'm speaking to, you are young enough to be my sons. I'm old enough to be some of y'all's aunties. Those of you all who are grown, old enough to be your sister, your wife, your whoever. But right now, I'm coming to you just as another sister, really wanting to share something that's really on my heart to you all. And something you all do that offends me and makes me feel less, quite frankly. And that's when you wear your pants off your butt and where I'm seeing your underwear, you know? And so I thought maybe I would give you all history on it that you may not know. Some of you all might, know the history as far as with prison. But I want to share with you, through my research, the origins of showing your butt. And many of you all may not know, but one form, and I'm going to start with the one that I'm sure some of you don't know, is that back during slavery time, the master would do something called breaking the buck, okay? And we know that the slave masters would call black males bucks. One reason is because they didn't see you all, black males, as anything but property, chattel, animals. And then they saw you as a breeding ground so that they can breed you as bucks and create bigger, stronger slaves to work their land. But they did something called breaking the bucks for those slaves who they labeled as defiant. And they labeled slaves defiant when, of course, when the slave would not necessarily always do what they wanted, or for those brave individuals who wanted to try to escape for some type of freedom. You understand? So let me explain what they would do to these bucks. And I want to read it to you all so you can really understand that this is not coming from me. This is coming from what I've read and what I know. Be patient with me because I'm pulling it up online too. For those of you all joining me for the first time, thank you for joining me. Please feel free. The reason I call my channel The Bridge Building with Angela is because I believe that life is a journey and we have to cross bridges every day in our lives to get from one point to the next. And hopefully my channel, my YouTube channel, and also my podcast will encourage, enlighten, motivate, and just be something entertaining for you, but also to learn. And again, brothers, I'm coming to you in a loving way. I'm not coming accusatory or to put you down, but I just think if you knew the history behind your pants sagging, maybe you think a second thought about doing it. And I did a lot of research, but one I'm going to read from you from this website is called leafbuilder.net. And leafbuilder.net is like a blog site by Mr. John Sudds, S-U-D-D-S. And let me read what he says here, okay? Put my glasses on so I can get this right for you, because you mean a lot to me, brothers. All right. What buck breaking and sagging pants have in common? It says, what is buck breaking? In essence, buck breaking occurred when an angry American slave master thought a slave was being defiant and needed to be taught a lesson. Therefore, the African male slave would be forced to lower his pants and bend forward over a tree stump or something similar with his buttocks propped up in the air. The American slave master and or someone he'd appoint to carry out an ensuing inhumane act would then proceed to flog the African male slave almost to the state of unconsciousness. But then things got worse. The American slave master, some having homosexual tendencies, would then drop his pants and proceed to rape the defenseless, unaided African male slave in front of his wife, kids, and friends in a public setting, even inviting other homosexual white males to join in on the male rape event. It was the ultimate emasculation of the African male slave for being defiant to his white masters. Moreover, it was an ungodly, evil disciplinary tool employed to strike fear into the hearts of the African male slave, as well as his family, peers, and community. And I went on to learn also from other research that I've done that not only was this practice common with the white master raping the African slave, but in many cases, the slave master would sodomize the male slave with whatever sharp tool, instrument, whatever he had. But before he could even get to sodomizing or even raping the black male, the first thing he had to do is lower his pants. He wouldn't even have him take them all the way off. Lower them halfway down his butt so that he can proceed to emasculate him and to humiliate him, and in a way trying to break the buck, as it was called. So brothers, you all knowing that, you still sagging? Okay, so maybe that doesn't mean anything to you. Let me give you another point of reference that might help you even better. This is a biblical reference, and this was very interesting to me. I went to this site called HebrewLiving.com, and I want you to hear what this has to say about it, brothers. It says, have you ever wondered about where the wearing of pants, having the buttocks showing, comes from? Well, the Bible. And let me show you. It says 2 Samuel 10, 1 through 5, and in 1 Chronicles 19, 1 through 5, it states, after the death of King Ammon, King David sent his servants to the late Ammon's son, King Hanan, to confront him and to show respect, to comfort him. He went there. King David sent his servants to the late Ammon's son's place, which his son was King Hanan, to comfort him and to show him respect. However, Hanan's advisors seem to have thought that King David sent his servants to come and spy in order to conquer his territory. But David didn't send them to spy. He sent them to be a comfort to this man, because he had suffered a loss. So he said, why did they think they came to spy? Well, it was customary for those mourning to shave off their beards and some or all of their hair, which they had not done. So King Hanan, and forgive me if I'm saying the name wrong, King Hanan decided to cut off half of King David's servants' beards and to cut their clothes to the buttocks as a way of shaming them, and sent them on their way. So let's dissect that for a minute. What happened was basically this. King David sent his servants to comfort King Hanan and to show respect. King Hanan his advisors thought that King David sent the servants to spy, but that wasn't the case. But King Hanan, in his wrong thinking, decided, okay, you came here to spy. I'm going to disrespect you, men. I'm going to cut your half of your beards, not all of it, but half of it. And then I'm going to cut your clothes down to your buttocks as a way of shaming them. Well, let's see what happened when they got back to King David. It says, when King David's servants returned, he sent them away to Jericho to save them from humiliation, because being shaven and with your buttocks out was a form of being shamed, which unfortunately insulted King David and was a form of disrespect. In the end, King David ended up in war with the Ammonites due to this insult and over other things that took place. It says, listen to this, this humiliation of the buttocks, lowering the pants, went on even throughout slavery when slaves were forced to shave their heads and or walk down the street with their buttocks out. To add to this, photos show that during lynching, some slaves' pants were pulled down to their buttocks while they hung on display. So brothers, here we have it. This is another example of how when you relate sagging pants off your butt, nothing positive is coming out of it. The sagging pants with slavery had to do with humiliating and demasculating and making the black slave feel as if he was nothing and to punish him and try to break him in. So they would either sodomize him or rape him with his pants hanging half off his butt, or when they would lynch them hanging on a tree, they would pull their pants halfway off their butt. Every time we speak of pants hanging off your butt, it shows a sign of disrespect. We even see it in the Word of God right here in the Bible, where it talks about in 2 Samuel and in 1 Chronicles and even in Leviticus, where we just read to you about when King David sent his servants. And then advisors thought that the men were coming to spy when really they were coming to be respectful. And so they shaved half of those men's beards and cut their pants down to halfway because it was a sign of disrespect, showing that you are less of a man. We're gonna show your butt. But yet and still, when I'm in the store and I'm in line behind a beautiful African American man, I gotta see your behind. I have to see your underwear. But maybe you're doing it because you don't know we're here. Auntie Angela, Sister Angela, whoever you want to call me, Mother Angela is here to tell you it has a history of disrespect. I don't care what you may hear in hip hop or whatever, the origin came from disrespect. Now, of course, I'm gonna give you the last reason why, and many of you all may already know this, but let's talk about it anyway. This origin, of course, came from prison. I'm sorry, the third example I'm gonna tell you. In prison, and from my studies, one of the reasons why they were not given belts is, of course, obvious reasons, because seen as a weapon, okay? Another reason why in prison, a lot of times, especially many years ago, men were not given belts because they could use it as a form to kill themselves, suicide. You're in prison, you know you don't want to be there, or it's a heinous situation, you hang yourself, okay? The third reason why in prison, what the belt symbolize that when you hanging your pants off, you sagging, it shows that you belong to someone else there and that you are available to give your butt to someone else too. It's showing that you belong to someone. Do you understand that in every 3 cases of what I've just explained to you about your sagging pants off your butt, it shows that you belong to someone. In slavery, it showed you belong to the white man. In servant times and biblical times, it showed a sign of disrespect, and that, look, you are a slave to me, you disrespected me, I'm gonna disrespect you in the utmost way. The third way is in prison. So my question to you is, brothers, how long you gonna be sagging? And then I learned something very interesting. If you spell the word sagging backwards, what word comes out of it? Let me show you something. Y'all hang on. I have my pen. All right. I'm gonna write the word sagging for you. S-A-G-G-I-N. Sagging, right? But if you look at it backwards, what's that spell? N-I-G-G-A-S. Right? N-I-G-G-A-S. What's that spell to you? N-I-G, the N word. And you don't want anyone calling you niggas, but that's what sagging, niggas. Come on now, brothers. You're not niggas. You come from kings and queens and royalty. You're brilliant. You can do anything. You're not just rappers and singers. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not just athletes. Before you were any of those things, you're kings. But a king don't wear his pants off his butt. I don't know any king in any kingdom on the face of this earth that wears their pants off their butt. But yet, you don't care if you do it in front of us, your black queens. I'm begging you to please stop. Please stop so that when white people see you, they don't think that you are this. N-I-G-G-A-S is because you're not niggas. I don't care what you've done in your life. You're not a nigga. You got to stop with the pants. We're in the store, my daughters. They're like, Mom, why is his pants off his butt? I said, because I tell them they don't know who they belong to. When you wear your pants like that, I want to ask you, who do you belong to? Who your butt belong to? But you sag in front of us, your queens. Do you really respect us? I'm telling you, from one black woman to another black man, it hurts. It makes me feel, tonight I was in a pizza place ordering pizzas, and I could count, there were beautiful black men in there. You all were just, beards were shaved to perfection. You just looked nice. But then I looked down and your pants was off your butt. I was like, And I'm your queen? Yes, one gentleman, he held the door for me, and that was very gentlemanlike, and I do appreciate it. And I told him, thank you, brother. But what I wanted to ask him too was, by the way, who does your butt belong to? I will just ask you again. I want y'all to hear what I'm saying to you about this. During slavery, it was part of breaking the buck, where they would literally pull your pants down, pull your pants down to your knees. They didn't even respect you enough to get you butt naked. They would just pull them down enough so your butt could show, bend you over a stump or anything, sodomize you and or rape you in front of your black queens. But you're doing the same thing in front of us when you wear them off your butt. Or what about in biblical times when the king wanted to disrespect servants? Cut their clothes off halfway down to where their butt is showing. Or what about in prison? There's nothing cool about it. And I can't speak for all sisters, but I'm willing to bet that 99.9% of black women hate it. Because we're your queens. But yet when you walk around in front of us like that, it makes us feel awful. So brothers, I wanted to just give you that bit of information. And I'm not coming from a place of judgment. I'm coming from a place of concern and love. And I just wanted to give you the facts because I want you to know you don't have to be sagging because you're not niggas. Look, I hope that you learned something. Please feel free to comment me. Continue to watch my videos, my podcast, the Bridge Building with Angela podcast. Usually on Saturdays, particularly on my podcast, I do Story Saturday, tell you a story that will encourage and enlighten. But this was so heavy on my heart because I've seen it so much. And quite frankly, I'm tired of explaining to my daughters that they keep asking, why are their pants off their butts? Because I know you're kings, brother. And I know that you really don't want to be nobody's slave. You're a king. Talk to you soon. Be blessed. Continue to like my channel, subscribe. Bye-bye.